Hi guys, it's Ichis here. So today I'm here with another decent deck profile. I'm finally uh, back from Melbourne, so it's been a very uh, good time there. I like the place still, but we have to be back for work, so we have more money that we can actually go back again. So this time I will be covering Shiranui. So Shiranui has been out for quite a bit of while, and there's a lot of different ways I can build it. Um, the strongest one is with the magazine promo, which I unfortunately I don't have any, so I won't be using that. And there will be some drawbacks without that promo because you don't get to sew in the card that you want to sew in and get an extra draw that you don't have. But so far this build is actually helping me out, so I think it's good to do a showcase in the thought process when I go through the deck. So let's keep it easy with the right line first. So here is mainly to get a crest with Shoujo Doji, which is some people choose to use this. Some people actually use Genkai instead if they want to have an extra little power boost with that. They will choose that, but I picked the more of a rushing method to increase the unit hopefully and then get it sold back. So I'm using Shoujo Doji. That means I have a more higher chance to actually punish my opponent by putting stronger units or anything that can hit while saving cards in my hand. And then when we go to our Shiranui overall, that means we will start doing the dominates. I don't often call units from opponents' drop zone. I don't feel a need to, but sometimes if your opponent's playing nothing, but they do have something in drop, then at least you get something to actually call out, forcing them so that you can actually dominate something and activate a lot of skills. Yeah, and then the crest, very simple, just more power as long as you have more G zones face up. Your dominated units won't get any skills basically, but then in the total you actually gain 5k here, you will gain 4k here usually, so that's a 9k boost. Yeah, so that's basically it. Which you, instead of gaining a lot, utilizing a lot of skills from different clans and nations, now you actually get to do more stable attacks and actually it's kind of more attacks, maybe, at least in the D format. Okay, so before going to G zone, or maybe let's go through it now because it's so easy. It's basically what we have are all of our Magun Tembu and more of our other overalls. It should be Mukuro, not overall. Yeah, Mukuro. Yeah, so I don't often use this card. I might use it once or twice, probably just once. Most of the time I'm going for Magun Tembu. The reason why is if I am trying to push my opponents through, then what I need to do is actually just keep poking them, and then you have two dominates to actually poke them first, which can link to a lot of different skills, and he can actually be a retire as well because you will actually pop the unit that you dominated with Magun Tempu. So it's just great, and yeah, that's basically it. Because even though you can like dominate your opponent's Vanguard to attack a unit, and then well, you first dominate a unit attacking the Vanguard, and then you dominate the Vanguard to attack a unit, which you gain some cards back, but then there isn't actually too much value. It's still a strong skill. Whenever you see something that is very hard to deal with, you want that gone, then you can actually normally your opponent's Vanguard and do that. So that can help a little bit, but again, most of the time, Magun Tembu will do the job, and that's all you need. As long as, especially when you actually pull the Dragon Empire OD to pull him out, and that can be very, very scary. Now, main deck, 3 more Boros so that we can actually get a chance to go into a Mukuro, just in case if we need to. Nothing too much fancy there. And then I am using the normal Shiranui for a chance to get a slightly higher power compared to the Grade 4 support. Even though the Grade 4 support, what is great is if you use it as a ride cost for riding a Grade 3, you also get a draw card, which this card didn't give you. But this card is also a ninja dragon for stealth, so you can actually call it out with your Shoujo Doji for different punches if you need to, or even just sew it in if you need to, increasing the number of stealth cards that you can actually utilize, especially again when you use your Shoujo Doji, because when you only see one, you can only put one in sew. When you see two, then you can actually get one out. So that's very important, at least that's what I think. And then I'm running 2 of the Experidia. At the very early stage I didn't use this card at all, but then I think I actually needed that. That's mainly for when your opponent is trying so hard to counter you, because I'm playing against like Bank Dream, playing against a mirror match. That, well, with Bank Dream, if they are playing the Monophonica, that they will just say, okay, don't target any single of my units. So basically you will not be able to dominate anything, so your deck is 90% dead. And in order to give pressure to your opponent, this is what important, because as long as you can Soul Blast 1 when your Vanguard attacks, it can withstand. And most of your withstand just require Soul Blast. So if you can't use their skill, then apply to this. Then because if you only do 3 attacks, you will lose for 100%. That's for sure. Even though because you get hard counter, but that doesn't mean that you can just say, oh, that's it and just let it go, right? So as a backup plan, I'm putting it there. If I'm in a situation where I don't need to care about hard counters, then I can simply just ditch it, right? Or even just play it out if I want to. And some people are trying hard to reduce your counterblast usage. So like, even if you have to strike into a Magun Temple and you don't have a single counterblast, this can somehow still help you out a little bit. At least like a 18k is still kind of better than sometimes just a 15k, right? So that can happen. So it's, again, counter against hard counter, especially when you can't target any of the units, when you don't have any spare cost, when you don't have any units that you can actually dominate. That can happen, but more backup plans is always good. And then the multiple attackers are our Furai, which is a better one, and Sekai. Seki, I don't know. So this is a not good enough version because you need to actually have 2 face up in order to gain a extra 10k, and you have to draw. Even though the draw is good unless you are decking out, but that means on your first strike turn, it's only a 15k swing for 2 times. But with your Furai, if you can dominate 2 times, that means it's plus 10 and then another 5 from the crest. So it's a simple 25k beater, which is way better than this. But you do need the multiple attackers, so that's why they're all here, and then I have 2 extra more. So we have a lot of attackers. We attack. When you are trying to cut any of your multiple attackers, if you have to, you always start to cut from here. You don't cut this because even one single dominate is a plus 5 with the crest is plus 10, right? But this, if you don't dominate anything, you don't get the skill. If you don't have 2 face up G zone, it's still just a 10 plus 5, it's just only 15. So that's something that it can be better, but then because you get an extra draw as long as you have 2 or more G-zone face up, which sometimes can actually be helping you out. And without enough multiple attacking, this deck will be very weak. So yeah, that's why you can see here is a backup plan that when I only can do 3 attacks, at least I try and do +1. And then the free Kitsune for searching your overall and as a strike cost. Nothing too much can I see right there. And then the best card of the deck is of course Tenrei. As long as you have the crest, when it on place you can count +1 draw 1. If your dominated unit's attack hits, then you can bounce this card back to your hand if you want to. That means once it bounces back to your hand, you can count +1 and draw another card if you put it down again, which sometimes really saves you out, and you actually have a lot of spare counterblast if you look into it, because most of the time you only use it for this. So early taking damage, having extra draw to protect yourself and find your pieces is great. So there's no way you will cut this card unless there are way better support from the future, but for now this is a card that you will put in the last thing that you want to cut if you really need to cut something and you already cut out every single other stuff, which is not happening, right? So do remember that, keep it at 4 no matter what. When you think about the deck list, just put 4 there first, lock it in, and you're fine. Next is Senkei. So this is also from the Shiranui Deck set as well. The +5 is normally not there because it requires the dominated unit to hit in order to gain that. So normally we don't care about that. We care about the second skill once per turn. GB1, when your unit attack hits, you can soul charge 1. So as long as you can do dominate, there's a lot of chances that you can get to soul charge 1 if you want to. So that's how I try to make some souls for my multiple attackers while I don't have the promo. It's not good because it's every single soul charge is a blind soul charge. With the promo is she move into the soul and get you an extra card, so that's a very different thing. But so far I don't see a very good replacement for the promo, so I'm still using this, and it also can apply some sort of on hit pressure, because it's, as long as your unit attack hits, you can soul charge 1. So like that soul might actually link up to another multiple attack, and your opponents will need to be very careful not to take so much hit, and they will drop cards to guard. That's where you're starting to gain more advantage while you have a lot of hands and your opponents don't. And then PGs. Using the ninja one because it's stealth, so that we can, worst case, search it out to squeeze our deck. Now triggers. Dragon Empire OT. I tried the other OTs, but then I find this still better. The reason why people first don't consider this is if they actually go into Mukuro and the dominated Vanguard attacks and you actually hit this, is kind of a waste. But then back to early time that I say most of the time I'm actually using Magun Tenbu instead, then the story is very different. Because like Magun Tenbu is just a vanilla during the battle phase. So the most important thing is he activate all kinds of the dominate stuff with your Vanguard, and then you allow your multiple attackers to attack. And while you are focusing on this and you actually hit into a Dragon Empire OT, then that means your multiple attacker can actually do things again, right? Except for Experidia, that you can only resend once, but the other ones you can actually resend more than once. So that total attacks when you actually pull it OT is very impressive, and you can actually see that from the WGP Deluxe Season 4 videos that I did upload, that it actually happened and it changed a lot of things. So yeah. Next triggers, soaring crit, we need the souls. So this is one of the key moments that I would say you will have to find the soaring crit to actually support yourself, even though most of the time we're using it as a 15 guard, but then that little soul-in activity before your Vanguard attack can be very helpful. 3 more crits, 4 draws with 10Ks, and then just 4 normal heals. I don't use any effect heals, I think it's enough. And for PGs, if you want to use your Blitz Order, because there's more Luward or Shiranui matchup that you'll face, then feel free to do that as well. I'm just trying to make it more stealth focused, because you can see these are all stealth triggers. These I don't have a choice, these I don't have a choice, but a lot of cards in my deck are stealth, so when I use my Shoujo Doji, I rarely miss. So far, like out of at least 30 matches, I have been missing like once or twice max, that I can only put 1 card into a soul, but most times I'm fine. Yeah, and you want to focus on crit and draw so that you can apply pressure to your opponent, you can draw your pieces, survive, and then swing back with multiple attacks with dominate. Yeah, that's basically it. So the deck itself is very simple to pilot, don't worry. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask in the comments down below. But so far I'm very happy that Shiranui is actually kind of a stronger deck against Luward compared to Luward as well. Even though Luward, I think people starting to get how to actually play the deck, I'm still missing like the Angels painkillers to actually finish the deck, so that might take a little bit longer, because I actually need to find those, and so far I can't find enough in Hong Kong. I only get 1 copy. I still need like 2 to 3 at least. So I might need to find it in stores from Japan, like online, to get them send it to me. So I might not be able to actually show you a Luward deck for now, but maybe later. Yeah, but this is quite easy to build because you don't need a lot of extra stuff. 2 of these, and the rest is basically what's included, except the soaring crit and draws. Then I think you're all set. And also the Shoujo Doji, which is just a common, so even though people just make it higher in price, but unless you're chasing like the FR version, which you only do that for flexing, then up to you. But if you're only looking for a common, it's quite easy to get. Yeah, so I think that's it for the deck profile. If you have any questions, again, feel free to ask in the comments down below. Subscribe for more different deck fights, deck profiles, unboxing. We will have deal set unboxing very soon as well. Yeah, so that's basically all I have for today. Stay tuned for more contents, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.